If you're still broke, no matter how hard you work, it's not because you're lazy. It's because no one ever taught you the 7 silent money traps that are stealing your wealth right under your nose. You could be clocking in 40 hours a week, saving what you can, even cutting back on coffee, and still never seem to get ahead. That's not a coincidence. It's a pattern, one that millions of people are stuck in without realizing it. In this video, we're breaking down 7 money mistakes keeping you broke, and, more importantly, how to fix them fast. Some of these will hurt to hear, but if you're tired of seeing your balance hover near zero every month, this might be the video that finally changes that. Let's start with the first one, the mistake that traps almost everyone. Mistake number 1, thinking your income is the problem. Most people believe the reason they're broke is simple: I don't make enough money. That's not completely true, because if it were, every person who ever got a raise would suddenly be rich. But they don't. They just get a bigger car, a better phone, and a new monthly payment. There's a name for that: lifestyle creep. You start earning more, so you start spending more. You feel like you deserve it because you worked for it. And yeah, you do deserve nice things. But here's the problem. When your expenses grow as fast as your income, your savings rate stays exactly the same: 0. Here's the math. If you make $3,000 a month and spend $2,900, your savings rate is 3%. If you start making $6,000 but spend $5,800, your savings rate is still 3%. You're just broke at a higher level. The truth? It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. That's why some people earning $60K are more financially stable than others earning $150K. Take Mark, for example. Mark was a software engineer making $120,000 a year. Every time he got a raise, he'd upgrade. New apartment, new car, better clothes. You look successful. But one layoff later, he was wiped out within 3 months. He wasn't poor because he didn't earn enough. He was poor because he never built a financial cushion. A 2023 Bankrate study found that 57% of Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing or using a credit card. That's not an income problem. That's a behavior problem. When you get a raise, don't increase your lifestyle, increase your gap. If you get a 20% raise, keep living like you got a 10% raise and save or invest the rest. You can enjoy life, but set a rule. For every new dollar you earn, at least 50 cents must go towards savings or investing. That's how real wealth starts. Mistake number 2, treating debt like it's normal. Let's talk about the one thing that quietly keeps millions broke: debt. Debt feels normal because everyone has it. Car payments, student loans, credit cards, buy now, pay later. It's like breathing in the modern economy. But just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean it's smart. Debt is a reverse investment. Instead of money working for you, it's working against you. Here's what most people don't realize. If you owe $5,000 on a credit card with a 20% interest rate, that's like throwing away $1,000 a year just for existing. You're not buying things anymore. You're renting your past decisions. Story. Jasmine was 26 with $9,000 in credit card debt and a car loan. She wasn't buying crazy stuff, just daily life. DoorDash, Starbucks, a few Amazon buys. But one day she calculated her interest. $180 a month, pure waste. That's $2,160 a year. Enough to take a vacation or start investing. Once she saw that, she went on what she called a debt diet. She sold her second car, cut up her cards, and started paying off one debt at a time. 2 years later, she was debt-free and said she felt richer at 28 than I did at 18, even though I make the same money. Data: the average American carries over $6,000 in credit card debt. With an average 20% interest rate, that's $1,200 in interest every year gone. Now multiply that by 10 years. That's $12,000, the price of a car or half a house down payment, just handed over to the bank. 6. Debt freedom starts with the debt snowball or the avalanche. Debt snowball: pay off the smallest balance first to gain momentum. Debt avalanche: pay off the highest interest one first to save money. Either works. What matters is progress. The key is to stop adding new debt, because paying off one credit card while swiping another is like trying to dry off while standing in the rain. Once you're out of debt, never go back to it for once. Debt is a financial drug. The first swipe feels like relief. The second swipe feels normal. The third swipe becomes your life. Mistake number 3: ignoring where your money actually goes. If I ask you right now how much money you spent last month to the dollar, could you answer? Most people can't, because tracking your money feels boring, uncomfortable, or unnecessary. But ignoring your expenses is like driving blindfolded. You might not crash right away, but you will eventually. A study by the National Endowment for Financial Education found that 70% of Americans don't have a detailed household budget. And here's the crazy part: people who do budget save on average 20% more per month than those who don't. Story: when I first started tracking my spending, I thought I was being responsible. I paid bills, had savings, no big deal. But when I looked closely, I realized I was wasting $300 a month on random subscriptions, takeout, and apps I didn't even use. That's $3,600 a year just gone. That's the moment I learned: small leaks sink big ships. Fix: start tracking, but make it effortless. Use apps like Mint, YNAB, You Need a Budget, or Monarch Money. Don't just look at numbers. Look for patterns. Which habits are draining your money? DoorDash, impulse Amazon buys, unused memberships. Here's the system. Track every expense for 30 days. Highlight the top 3 money leaks. Cut or cap them, and redirect that money to savings or debt payoff. You'll be shocked how quickly it adds up. Example: if you cut $150 per month in waste and invest it at 8% annually, you'll have nearly $28,000 in 10 years from money you never even missed. This isn't about restriction. It's about awareness. You can't fix what you don't measure. And once you start measuring, you'll realize how much control you actually have. Mistake number 4: saving instead of investing. This one's controversial, because saving sounds responsible, right? Your parents probably told you, just save your money and you'll be fine. But here's the truth: saving alone will never make you rich. Inflation kills savings quietly. Let's say you save $10,000. With average inflation around 3 to 4%, that money loses roughly $300 to $400 in buying power every year, just sitting there. So while your account stays the same, your money's shrinking. Story: there's a famous example of a woman named Grace Groner. She worked as a secretary her entire life, never earned more than $40,000 a year. But she invested $180 in stocks back in the 1930s and never touched them. By the time she passed away, that small investment had grown to over $7 million. That's the magic of compounding. Money grows when it works, not when it sleeps. Data: the S&P 500 has historically returned about 8 to 10% per year over the long term. Compare that to the 0.4% you get in a regular savings account. That means $10,000 saved becomes $10,400 after a year, but $10,000 invested could become $11,000. Over 20 years, that's the difference between $10,800 and $46,000. Fix: save for safety. invest for growth. Keep 3 to 6 months of expenses in an emergency fund. That's your safety net. Everything else should be working for you. Start simple. Index funds like Vanguard's VOO or VTI. ETFs that track the market. Or if you're new, use robo-advisors like Betterment or Wealthfront. And if you don't know where to start, invest in your brain first. Read, take a free investing course, or just watch videos like this one. Because the biggest risk isn't losing money. It's never learning how to grow it. Mistake number 5, believing you'll start later. This one destroys more futures than bad luck ever will. The belief that you'll start saving later, or invest when you have more, or fix your money once life settles down. Spoiler, life never settles down. Most people wait for the perfect time to get their money together, after the next paycheck, after the next promotion, after the next crisis. But every time you wait, you're losing something you'll never get back: time. Here's what no one tells you. Money grows slower than you think in the beginning and faster than you can imagine later. That's why starting early is everything. 2 friends, Emma and Jake. Emma starts investing $200 a month at 25 years old. Jake starts the same amount at 35. They both stop investing at 45. By 65, Emma has over $300,000. Jake has barely $120,000. Same money, different timing. That's the cost of waiting. According to Fidelity, the average 25-year-old who starts investing just $100 a month can retire a millionaire by 65, assuming an 8% annual return. But if they wait until 35, they'd need to invest $300 a month to reach the same goal. Waiting costs triple. Stop overthinking and just start. Don't say, "I'll start when I can invest big." Start with something. Even $20 a week builds momentum. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking to your investment account the day your paycheck hits. Make it invisible. Make it routine. You don't need to time the market. You need time in the market, because the only bad investment is the one you never make. Mistake number 6, trying to look rich instead of being rich. Here's a hard truth. Most people stay broke trying to look rich. And social media makes it worse. We see highlight reels, designer clothes, luxury vacations, new cars, and feel like we're falling behind. So we spend to catch up. But here's the irony. Real wealth rarely looks wealthy. The people with $10,000 watches usually have $10 in the bank. The ones wearing plain t-shirts and driving used cars, they're often millionaires. Sorry, Warren Buffett still lives in the same modest house he bought in 1958. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same hoodie every day. Meanwhile, millions of people earning $50,000 a year are financing $60,000 cars to look successful. Data, according to a Federal Reserve survey, 60% of people with 6-figure incomes still live paycheck to paycheck. Meanwhile, 75% of millionaires drive used cars and shop at ordinary stores. Why? Because they understand this. Money isn't for flexing, it's for freedom. Fix. The next time you're tempted to spend to impress, ask yourself, am I buying this to enjoy it or to prove something? If it's the second one, skip it. Build what I call quiet wealth. That's money no one sees. Savings, stocks, assets, investments. Rich isn't the person flashing luxury. Rich is the person with options. They can quit a job they hate, take a month off, move where they want. That's wealth, and no one can fake that on Instagram. Mistake number 7, relying on one source of income. This one's a killer. The single biggest reason most people never escape the rat race. Because if you only have one income stream, you're one emergency away from disaster. Your job feels secure until it's not. Companies change, economies shift, AI replaces roles. If your only income comes from one paycheck, you're balancing your entire life on a single thread. Story. In 2020, millions of people learned this the hard way. Layoffs hit overnight, and families who were comfortable one month were panicking the next. But some people barely felt it. Why? Because they had side income, freelance gigs, digital businesses, rental income, online stores. They weren't invincible, but they were protected. Data. According to CNBC, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Not all big, but diverse. A mix of earned income, dividends, side hustles, investments, and passive income. 6. Start building at least one more stream of income. Something scalable. A few examples: freelance or remote work, graphic design, writing, coding, digital assets, YouTube, online courses, ebooks, affiliate marketing. Investments: stocks, REITs, dividend ETFs, real assets, rental properties, small businesses, flipping items. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about giving your future more legs to stand on. If one stream dries up, the others keep you afloat. Think of it like a table. One leg is unstable, but with 3 or 4, it never wobbles. Problem escalation. Now that we've gone through the 7 mistakes, here's the real danger. Most people don't make just one of these mistakes. They make 5 or 6 of them at the same time. And that creates a trap that feels impossible to escape. You overspend because you're stressed. You take on debt to cover it. Then you tell yourself you'll fix it later. It's a cycle, and it feeds itself. Every month you repeat it, the hole gets deeper. And before you know it, your financial future becomes a treadmill. You're running hard but staying in place. Let's put it in perspective. If you spend $200 more than you earn each month, that's $2,400 a year. If you put that on a credit card at 20% interest and only pay the minimum, it'll take over 15 years to pay off. 15 years for 1 year of overspending. But here's the twist. Just as bad habits compound, good habits compound too. If you invest just $200 a month for 10 years at 8% returns, you'll have nearly $37,000. In 20 years, over $110,000. Same 200, different direction. That's the hidden power of small financial decisions. They multiply quietly. You're either compounding debt or compounding wealth. Every choice moves you one way or the other. The mental side of money. Here's when most financial advice misses the point. Money isn't just math, it's mindset. If you grew up watching your parents stress over bills, you probably associate money with anxiety or scarcity. If you grew up hearing money doesn't grow on trees, you might subconsciously believe that making more is impossible or even greedy. And those beliefs, not your paycheck, are what hold you back. Story. Take Sarah. She used to say, "I'm just bad with money." That phrase became her identity. So even when she got a raise, she'd find ways to lose it. Impulse spending, unnecessary upgrades, financial self-sabotage. It wasn't until she reframed her mindset from "I'm bad with money" to "I'm learning to master money" that her habits changed. Within 2 years, she went from living paycheck to paycheck to saving $20,000. Money habits are emotional habits. If you want to change your finances, start by changing how you think about them. Stop saying, "I can't afford that." Start saying, "How can I afford that?" The first closes your brain. The second opens it. Right now, you might be realizing this isn't about being unlucky or underpaid. It's about learning the rules no one ever taught you. Think about it. We spend 12 years in school learning trigonometry, but no one teaches us how credit cards work, how to invest, or how to buy a house. The system isn't built to make you rich. It's built to make you dependent. So if you're watching this and feeling frustrated, good. That means you get it. You can't fix what you don't face. And now you see it clearly. You don't have to fix everything overnight. You just have to stop bleeding money, stop delaying your future, and start making small, consistent moves in the right direction. Because the truth is, wealth isn't built by geniuses. It's built by people who stay consistent with boring, smart decisions. Now that you know the 7 silent money traps, let's be real, this isn't just theory. Every one of these mistakes is actively keeping you broke right now. And the scary part, most people never see it coming. Imagine your life 5 years from now if nothing changes. The raise you just got, gone to lifestyle creep. Your debt, still eating interest. Your someday investments, never started. Your side hustle, never attempted. That $20 a month you could save or invest, burned on random purchases. And now imagine the opposite. 5 years from now, if you apply these lessons, your income isn't the problem. Your wealth is growing. Debt is gone. Interest is working for you, not against you. You track your spending and fix leaks that quietly drain thousands each year. You invest early, even small amounts, and time becomes your ally. You live below your means, quietly building real freedom. Multiple streams of income protect you from unexpected setbacks. Your mindset shifts. Scarcity gives way to possibility. It's the same person in both scenarios. The only difference, knowledge plus action. This is your turning point. Everything you've learned so far is useless unless you apply it. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. So the real question is, which version of yourself do you want to be? Let's quickly recap the 7 money mistakes keeping you broke and the fixes. Thinking your income is the problem. Increase your savings rate with every raise. Don't inflate your lifestyle. Treating debt like it's normal. Pay off debt systematically using the snowball or avalanche method. Avoid new debt. Ignoring where your money actually goes. Track expenses, find money leaks, and redirect that money to savings or investments. Saving instead of investing. Save for safety, invest for growth. Let your money work for you, not just sit in the bank account.